8.
You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. I'm Beardy Rich.
Hey, and I'm Desmond, aka Black Beardy,
No,
or
baby
or
Beardy.
Baby Beardy. As you can see, it's filling in a little bit nicer.
A little bit, yeah. So you are watching us on The Experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or TikTok. Give us a like and a follow. Be sure to head to Facebook, like us, the Geek Chat, and the Comic Book Beardies as well. And make sure you go to comicshoppingexperience.com and sign up with the mailing list. That way you know when everything's on. Hey, Paul, I thought you were out for the night.
No, he is. He's on his way back.
Oh, it was a daytime show?
Yes, can you believe that?
That's
yeah, I was a what is it, a theater widow for the afternoon instead of the evening. So you gotta love the holidays. You know, they start to cool down on the theater stuff. So
so a little bit of a break.
Yeah, a little bit of a break, which is happy, but they always come back full force. So
much like TV shows and movies.
That's definitely the case.
Which leads us right into our first topic. It's gonna be to Kang or not to Kang. So Jonathan Majors was found guilty, and Marvel had that ready to go, and they were like, "Oh, guilty? Boop, gone.
Yep.
Bye."
They released that memo real quick. They're like, "Okay, send it out."
They probably had both ready to go. They had guilty and a not guilty.
Yeah, but I think even if he was not guilty, I think that they were still gonna be moving forward without him. I do believe that. I think they want to correct that ship as efficiently as possible, and any person that's going to derail that, they just can't. They just don't have the bandwidth to deal with them. I really believe that that's what's happening with Marvel at this point.
Well, which is interesting because I know a lot of my comic friends and I talk about the movies. And I think it's a huge mistake when you give your next 5 years this trajectory and you don't allow things to grow naturally, because the Marvels, for example, we had that great stinger at the end of Kamala meeting with Kate Bishop. When's that going to be? You know?
Yeah.
I think that them putting a whole phase on Kang, huge mistake. Especially
I agree.
Into Secret Wars. If you're going into Secret Wars, Kang was not anything near close to it. It should have been Doom. Like, we all know who Doom is. Doom does not need an origin story. I mean, Fantastic Four has been around in different movie iterations for a decade. People know who he is.
They really shot themselves in the foot by going with Kang.
Yeah, and those big phase announcements, probably for the investors, but you know what?
He's right.
It story-wise, I think it limits them.
No, it does, 100%. And I do believe that they missed the boat by going with Kang, because Kang is so, I don't want to say obscure, but he is kind of obscure. And there's no reason why they could not have done Doom the same way.
Right.
And I do believe that Doom, hi Kenneth, welcome in.
Hey Kenneth.
I do believe that Doom would have gotten much more butts and seats than Kang ever would.
Right.
And I'll tell you why, because they would have already been building off the momentum of the reacquiring of the Fantastic Four brand, you know. And then if they had really just built up the Fantastic Four and built up Doom's presence to be a big baddie like they did with Thanos, I thought it would have been better. And I think the problem with Marvel fundamentally right now, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, is that they have huge dollar signs in their eyes, but they've forgotten where they've come from. And I think
Right.
that's the problem. And I think if they had just chilled out and let it go and not had, poop the bed, so to speak, by putting all this giant stuff in and just let it grow more naturally and build up, because you have to think about it. There was this gradual build up until, the last two Avengers movies. Then there was explosion, and then for whatever reason, they're trying to rush that explosion. And I think when people talk about, hero fatigue and everything's a Marvel and everything's this and everything's that, that's the problem. They didn't give the fan base enough time to really soak in that goodness of the hi Steven, welcome
Hey,
in.
Steven.
Of the what is it? Of the downtime, now it's on to the next one. And I think and that's the problem that they have with, it's the same thing they have with the comic books.
Right.
It's this rushing to the next event,
which we're going to get into later. Right.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's like, stop it. Just let it breathe for a while.
Right.
Let it breathe. Because seriously, they've had a whole generation, pretty much of 20 years, 17 to 20 years of people, growing up with Marvel. And if they'd have just chilled it out, they could have given it another 15, 20 years to grow. And I think I would have waited for that. I would have loved that. And then let this stuff, mature on its own, and let these people, the new Captain America, the new Black Widow, let all these people kind of go on their adventures and then grow it up. And
Right.
that's the problem. And I think that's why, and I don't hate to say this, but that's why the dark horse in all of these superhero movies is DC. I'm telling you, DC is going to pick up where Marvel is messing up. I really believe that. I think people have enough faith in James Gunn to buy what he is selling. I really
Right.
do. They want that underdog. They want that newness, the antithesis of the difference from Marvel. Marvel is safe, that safe choice.
Right.
And I think that's why.
James Gunn has proven that he can launch. I mean, no one who the Guardians of the Galaxy was. The Guardians that they showed was not the Guardians I knew. And then
No.
James Gunn brings a talking raccoon and a little tree, and they're stars. I mean, Groot has his own mini adventures on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
2 seasons. So I'm fully ready for Gunn to take over. There was a really good article on. I read things on Twitter. I have no clue where it was from.
Well, neither do they probably.
Right, about DC's Gunn and what you said, kind of how he could reinvent DC, but DC's been broken for so long, it's going to take a little bit. But
no, I don't think it will. I don't think it's
don't?
going to take. I don't think at all it's going to take all of it. I don't. You know why? Because
Why?
people are tired. They are tired of the Marvel formula, and they want to embrace something new. They want the next phase of the superhero genre.
Right.
That's why the TV shows like The Boys and Gen V and all these adult sort of things are more appealing to people right now.
Yes.
Because they're tired of it of movies playing it safe.
Right.
And I tell you, and that's why we're just letting you all know we're going to be doing a review on our next show for next Thursday about Aquaman. And if you look at the news about Aquaman, it's like the death knell for the DCEU.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm still here for it. I still believe in James Wan's vision, although I think with Aquaman, because of Jason Momoa, And because of the Amber Heard thing, and because of having to go back and recut this movie, it's going to be this Frankenstein story that I hope, I pray and hope that it will at least be an enjoyable watch for the final,
DC
DCEU movie. Like,
movie, yeah.
I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be, but I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope, and I'm trying very hard to just let the naysayers do what they're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll have our review for that
Next
on the
week.
next show. So please stay tuned for that.
Speaking of Gen V, I got caught up and we binged it, and I have to say Gen V was great. And yes, I guess I am looking for a little something different.
Right?
It was the New Mutants cranked up to like 1,000 because have you watched The Boys?
I've only seen bits and pieces of it.
All right. So this is one of the schools, and they take like marketing and how to be a superhero and detective work and all this. There's different classes. And there are, I want to say, 5 or 6 main characters. And it is their journey, and they learn stuff about the school. And the school isn't just a school. Of course, there's a sub-basement where they do horrible experiments. But overall,
as you do,
this did something that I think Marvel and Disney Plus doesn't do very well. This takes place right before the newest season, which is going to be starting up, and directly goes into that season. Both spoilers, we do spoilers here. At the end, both big names show up in this. It isn't just and it had ties throughout to the larger Boys universe. Different people showed up and different names were spoken. But seeing Homelander and the evolution of what happened at the end of the last season, and then what he says in this season, made me really excited for the Boys to start back up. And I like the fact that it isn't TV to movie. It's TV to TV in a shared universe. Yeah. And we talk about shared universes, especially when Marvel's having 5 different events and none of them seem to touch the same place, even though it's the same city.
Yep.
And DC, I don't know what's going on with DC, but they did a really good job of making it be seamless. So you could watch The Boys and then watch Gen V and then watch The Boys again. And I remember in the beginning, I think it was Kevin Feige who said, you don't have to watch did he say you have to? I can't remember the timeline. You don't have to.
They're all going to be like these independent things that will pepper in each other, but they won't be very like you'll be able to get a full story, which you do, but we're finding out that there is a lot more setup in these TV series than there was in the past.
Well, he shouldn't have said that, because maybe there would have been more butts in the seats in the theaters for the Marvels, because if you knew who the heck Kamala Khan was. Because I know a lot of the people online were like, who is she? And it's like,
because they didn't watch the show.
Yeah, they didn't watch the show. I don't know. I just feel like that's a missed opportunity that Marvel has in their hands. And people want to talk about superhero fatigue and how some things are better than others. Well, yes. But if you had said, hey, our TV shows will matter to the larger movies, I think maybe they wouldn't be suffering so bad. But now you have quality, because like Secret Invasion was not the best.
Are you gonna watch Echo? I'm gonna watch it.
I'm a Marvel fan, so I'm probably gonna watch it.
I'm a fan of the street level characters, and I really hope, and I'm a really huge fan of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. I think he is fantastic. Yeah. And I do believe that this, knock on wood, will lead into Daredevil with whatever they're doing with Daredevil. I guess that had a ton of reshoots, and the story is being changed. And I'm like, of course, like, how could you do Born Again, as a Disney Plus movie when, have they not read Born Again to see what that story is about? Yeah. I mean, come on, like that's not a Disney Plus show. So, we'll but now they're saying like, Echo's supposed to be more adult oriented. Yeah. So
Well, they're releasing it all at once,
which is great.
Which is like they have no faith in this, so they're like, just put it out there. They shortened it down, just put it out there. Mm-hmm. What do we get it? We get it in January.
Yeah. Oh, and then didn't What If started
tomorrow?
Right?
Tomorrow starts What If, and you get one every day.
Yep, and I cannot wait for that. I think that's the one that I'm super excited about because they're actually hopefully will do something interesting with that. And of course, anytime you do an alternate reality type stuff, I'm interested in because I love to see what they can do.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the case with some books, sort of the case with other sort of not the case with other books. We have a book that we're going to be talking about here in a minute that I'm not sure if it did it well or not, but we'll see. Which is a great segue into our comic books, our new comic books of the week. And that first comic book of the week, they're releasing it all at once on January 10th. So the first book we're going to be talking about is DC's 'Twas the Might Before Christmas, which is kind of, they're kind of Elseworld stories, but kind of not. They're little one and done kind of stories, and to me, these are a guilty pleasure for me. Much like we read Marvel Voices before, which was last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Because I was on vacation. I had a fantastic time at Universal Studios. You should go. It was really fun. And the price is right. Didn't get called up, but it was great.
Aww.
But Twisted Might Be Before Christmas it's basically every year they do this, and they do it for the holidays.
They do all their holiday specials.
Yeah, so this one was for Christmas. I think the last one was Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 8. You get 8 stories in an 80-page
varying quality.
It's $10 for 8 stories. You get 80 pages. It's kind of weird because when you look at books like this, you really start thinking about inflation.
Because an 80-page comic book for DC used to cost $1.
Yeah, or the 100 ones that used to come out once a month, and or every so often, like the Bat Family ones, and then you'd be like, and then you could have and you could read 100 pages for like $1, and it was just like, it was so silly, but it was so good. And now we get these we get
overpriced.
These. I have a question. If they started coming back with like a Bat Family book and it was like priced at like $5.99,
they won't.
And no, I'm saying if they were to do like a Bat Family book and it was priced at like $5.99 and it was 100 pages, but it was in like the old newsprint style, would you buy that? I'd buy it.
I would, but according to the publishers, newsprint is no longer cheaper.
Yeah, I guess that's
paper.
Yeah, and it's just not cost effective.
What did you think of this as a whole?
As a whole, I thought they were fun little Christmas stories. Some of them were very derivative of each other. Like you had the Scrooge with Lex.
The Lex one bored me.
Yeah, I got
to the part where I'm just looking at pictures. I didn't care.
that one was kind of boring. I thought the last one with Batmite was great because no one told Damien that there was a Batmite, so I thought that was kind of fun. I wish
that was the first story.
Although to tell you the truth, I really liked the first story.
You did?
Oh yeah, I did. I really enjoyed the art. It was Logan Ferber, and I really liked it. It had this sort of like Cartoon Network kind of look to it, and I loved the way they drew Shimmer and Mammoth. I thought it was great. It was funny because like Mammoth reminded me of Coog a little bit with that big beard and the long hair. So no, I thought it was fun, and like them having, it was this weird like Home Alone thing that they were doing. And Baby Raven had to stop them and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was fun. That's the thing. It's just a fun book. And if you have the disposable income, which some comic book readers have, comic books are are a luxury item,
right?
That you don't need to survive. But hi Steven. So we're talking about DC's "Twas the Might Before Christmas," and welcome in, Steven. So we're talking about how we liked it and what we thought about it. Uh, Overall, I thought it was just a fun little time waster. There was no one story that stood out better than any of the other ones, except maybe the beginning, the bookends, the first one and the last one. But again, it was just filler stories.
It was. I felt like this was another one of those. We actually interviewed one of the writers maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm glad that he's working for DC now. Josh.
Oh my God! Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I just thought it was okay. I liked the Batmite story.
I thought
it should have been
fun.
first. I wish Batmite was if you're going to call the book "Twas the Might Before Christmas," maybe having various stories with Batmite in it would have been a little. Why are you looking at me like that?
That's why I ordered it.
No. So Coog ordered it because he thought Batmite was in every story.
No,
it's not. It's really
not at all. And I was kind of that's a bit of false advertising on their part. I honestly thought he was part of it too, and he was not. So.
Coog's flipping us off. All right.
Tell Mammoth to calm down.
Mammoth, calm down.
Although the one that so Rich texts me and he says to me, "Do I ever make you buy books that I don't like?" And
no,
and
wait,
something. What, you have it? Because he texts me.
I have it.
He texts me all the time. We talk about the show and what we're going to talk about. He texts me.
So this was we got our new books in. We got our new books in last Thursday, and after I worked, I read some comic books, and it was.
He texted me this sort of cryptic text of like, forcing me to buy comics that he doesn't like or something. Or he's like, "Do I make you buy comics that I don't like just to get your reaction or something like that?" And I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so this was it.
Oh,
do I make you buy a book just to see if you will hate it as much as I do?
Yeah. And he always calls me a contrarian because most of the time I like books that he doesn't like, but it is what it is, but I think we might be in a bit of agreement with this one. So it was the original X-Men, number 1. So
it's a one shot.
So, no, it's not. I mean, it is a one shot.
It is a one shot,
but it leads into the book. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
So I got the John Romita Jr. cover because I thought it was fantastic as it was after Kirby. And I thought it was a really good cover. I was like, this cover is really fun. And I'm a huge fan of.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of John Romita Jr. But I just kind of realized, after looking at it, like he's literally throwing snowballs, at
a man that can control magnetism
at a magnetic field, and poor Gene is like trying not to pass out in the back.
So the writer of this was Christos Gage. The penciler is Greg Land. The inker is Jay Leston. And the colorist Frank D'Armata. And VC's Clayton Cowles did the lettering. Ryan Stegman, J.P. Meyer, and Brad Anderson did this cover. Yes, I will say the cover is probably the nicest thing about this book.
Okay. It is talking a little bit about what we talked about before. This is an alternate reality story in which a Phoenix from a timeline in which the Phoenix did not corrupt Jean Grey, so she's good, and so she
690.
No. That's not that one.
696.
Yeah, that's the one where the Phoenix is corrupted.
No, it's not corrupted.
She's from that. Do they say that at the beginning?
It's where the kids that are there live.
In the weird.
I don't know. This book was weird.
Anyway, so basically, what happens is, what is the newest X-Men comics book series? Stephen Walker says, And the newest X-Men comic series, well, there's a bunch of them. So you got to think about which one you really want to read because there's like a ton of them now.
Well, so most of them are ending.
Yeah, because of the fall of
we
the
have
X.
the fall of X happening right now.
Well,
and it's a long fall because it lasts until June.
For forever. I'm like, stop it with the falling. But yeah, so this is just basically an intro to another mini series that's happening in the fall. Sorry, in the summer. So this was kind of like your opening salvo. And so basically what happens is Jean from another timeline goes back to the timeline in which remember the 05 that Bendis brought in like a couple years back? Well, these are those 5 X-Men. And Phoenix from a different timeline goes back to their timeline.
It's
so gives them back their memories and says, I need your help to stop. It's called The Original X-Men is what it's called. And it's a one-shot. But we talk about spoilers, so just beware. They basically call them and say, hey, I gotta send you to this universe where Phoenix basically takes over the world, and you have to stop them. How these teens are gonna do that, I don't know. But through the I like the little spoiler you have on it. Thanks. That's really cool. Look at the experience with the little spoilers. That's great. They basically talk to their older selves and convince them that Jean has been mind manipulating them. And so you find out basically that the Jean from this reality is actually Onslaught, which I didn't realize. I thought that was kind of an interesting little twist because instead of so if you know how Onslaught started when Legion went back and killed Professor X instead of Magneto, and then Onslaught was formed. This is sort of what happened, but instead, Onslaught took the form of Jean and started their own kind of like controlling the universe. So I'm not sure if this is the original Onslaught, which I don't think it is, but it's this timeline's version of Onslaught. But for whatever reason, at the end, we see that it is connected to the Age of Apocalypse. So is this the Onslaught from Age of Apocalypse that was transported to another universe, or is this a continuation of Age of Apocalypse? I don't know. It was interesting, Stephen, in the fact that you kind of had to do a little bit of mental gymnastics to see what's going on, because I have no idea where this is going until you actually see.
And we have a picture of what will be coming up. I think I sent it to him. It leads into the Wolverine X-Men called Weapon X-Men.
Yes, Weapon X-Men.
And it is all versions of Wolverine who can't really do anything against Onslaught because he's a psychic creature.
So, but weren't they going to be? It. Yeah, weren't they?
That is the cover coming in March.
But aren't they? Aren't they all various different? Well, there's like Phantom X, and I think that's the one on the one right after. Is that Selene or is that?
Nope. So it's it's at the very top. It's the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Wolverine. In the next one, it is Zombie. And then you have the Beast one in the back is like the early one.
Okay.
And then
there's
it's
Phoenix.
Old Man Logan is at the very bottom. And then that is
Phantom X, right?
No, it's a version of him, the female version of him. I think they're calling her Laura something.
Oh, so they're all versions of Wolverine.
They're all versions of Wolverine, all of them.
Okay.
Yes, that is what we're doing. I just want to say the art hurt my eyes.
Oh, he
traced himself. He traced himself and then traced himself some more. It's hard to tell people apart if they're not wearing their costumes. It just, I
like that a young Val Kilmer showed up in it. A couple pages.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. This book was a giant no. I don't know why we're doing this. The Fall of X is happening. I feel like if Marvel wanted to do another Exiles book, call it Exiles.
Yeah, do
put some
that.
other people in.
I enjoyed Exiles. It was fantastic.
I don't see where this book is going to connect to anything in the main X world.
It's not.
And I see it as a cash grab from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
That said, in March, we'll be reviewing it.
Yeah. So
we have to go. We will be right back. We're going to be taking a little commercial break. Stay tuned. We've got more books coming up on the Geek Chat.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Desmond Nicky Black Beardy or Baby Beardy.
Baby Beardy, you are watching the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. You are also watching this on The Experience, where there are live shows every day. Go to comicshoppingexperience.com so you can find out what's on the schedule, sign up for the mailing list. You can also buy a lot of different comic books on a lot of the different shows, and you can get all your billing and everything done right through the Experience. So it's really easy. And be sure to like us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Like and subscribe. Head to Facebook to the Geek Chat. See what's going on there. That's us.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, if you like us, tell a friend. Let them know that we're on. We're fun.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Steven, unfortunately there are no Marvel movies coming out, but
Deadpool.
if you are a fan, well, Deadpool's coming out next year, but that seems to be the only one that's coming out.
Yep.
And if you have Disney Plus, they do have a couple of series coming up on January. We had mentioned it before. January 10th is the Echo series, and that drops all episodes on that day. And then starting tomorrow is this What If season 2,
Yep.
and it drops once every day up until Christmas. So yeah,
it's
right?
not till it's after Christmas.
I thought it comes out before Christmas, and then it stops right around Christmas.
No, Christmas is Monday.
Oh, huh. Well, anyway, if you have Disney Plus, you'll be able to watch it there. So before we move on to our gang war, we're gonna give a quick shout out to Space Usagi #1. It is a continuing tale of Space Usagi Yojimbo, and it is basically the stories that came out a while ago, but they are the first time that they are in full color. So if you are a fan of, Star Wars, and you're a fan of Akira Kurosawa, and you're a fan of anthropomorphic rabbits, who like to, anthropomorphic.
No, the name. What was the name?
Space Usagi.
No, you said a
Yojimbo.
name. I don't know. Never mind.
Go check it out. It's really fantastic. I've read them all in black and white, and I definitely had to get them while they were in color. So I want to give a quick shout out to that. Stan Sakai is the creator, artist, and writer. Does all of it. Fantastic. Go check it out. So, gang war. Marvel is out here putting up, gang colors, throwing up gang signs. New York is a war zone. And Spider-Man is caught in the middle of it.
Right.
And it was funny because, originally I looked at Amazing Spider-Man 40 and I thought, wait a minute, this is not in any order. Because I didn't think it was going to be in any order, and it isn't in order. And the first one you're supposed to read is Daredevil, Gang War #1, which is this one right here. so at the back they give you a list of all the ones you're supposed to read. So
yeah.
So I have to say, aside from the Spider-Man #40, this was the best. This had the best artwork of all of the Gang War titles, in my opinion. And it had its story was I had my most fun reading this because #1, I'm an Elektra fan. And I love this, her take on Daredevil's costume. I think it is one of the best redesigns of the costume with the red and black. It just looks fantastic. The art is just fantastic. And if you look at it, the way the artist, we can go over that right now. The writer was Erica Schultz. The penciler was Sergio Davila. The inker was Sean Parsons, and the colorist was Cici Dela Cruz, and the letterer was VC's Clayton Cowles.
He's busy.
He's very busy. But yeah, this one, just Sergio Davila, his art is just fantastic, and how they draw Daredevil and Elektra just looks amazing.
Well, and Spidey, I was very impressed with his line work was really good.
Yeah, and there's a scene on one of the first pages where she throws smoke grenades, and there's trailing panels where she is hopping over people and trying to chase this crooked cop down. And it just looks fantastic. The movements are great. Everything about it is great. I really believe that this person is going to be one of the up and coming. I imagine this person is going to be on a more high profile book.
I hope
if they stay with Marvel. Just the way that he draws her lips and the colorist, everything about the artwork is just fantastic. I like it because each one of these stories represents a portion of the gang war in a specific area. This is Hell's Kitchen, which is controlled by the heat, and there is another female assassin that is running around that Elektra has to contend with while she's trying to figure out what's going on with this evil detective because everyone is vying for power. And this is this is how you do a a larger continuing story, an event type of thing when you have them all working together. You see a panel with all of them from the aftermath of the last Spider-Man issue where they all were fighting people, and then you kind of get a little bit of a rehash about when Daredevil or Elektra goes off and deals with the stuff in Hell's Kitchen. Fantastic. I really enjoyed that. We're seeing like this is like a side quest that she's going on, but it's still in what's going on in the much larger picture. Just
Right.
really good. I think the writer really captured, having it be an Elektra story as well as a piece of this much larger narrative. Really good writing, in my opinion. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
my
have to
cat's chewing
agree.
on something.
Your cat's chewing on something?
Yeah, she has these little like squirrels that she flings around.
Stuffed ones, right? Not
Yeah,
ones they found outside.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
good.
they're indoor cats.
So I actually really like this too. And reading this made me want to read about Daredevil Elektra.
Yeah.
I don't read her. But if this writer is writing her, I might pick it up.
Yeah.
I just want to say we were supposed to review Beast World, Titans, and their corresponding books. And DC's doing something a little different than Marvel's doing. Marvel is giving each character their own one-shot mini-series reflecting how these New York City heroes are reacting to the gang war. DC, on the other hand, is giving us cities. So the Metropolis heroes got a one-shot, Central City got a one-shot,
Gotham,
Atlantis got a one-shot. Yeah. So those are more anthology books written by different writers, kind of touching on what's going on, the much larger story. Excuse me. I prefer this. I prefer this because you get more focused on the story, what's going on in the different areas. Like he said, this book is about Hell's Kitchen. The Luke Cage one is about the mayor taking on his job as hero while maintaining being a mayor, which is a good segue into the next book, which is the Luke Cage book, which is not the prettiest book by any means.
I got this cover.
Oh.
The Peach Momoko weird ass nightmare variant cover. I hate that costume. That is such an atrocious costume. I am sorry. And then the fact that his wife just God, I can burn. Yeah, she basically is all like critiquing his costume and like, oh, the butt's out and this is there and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. And unless you're Mr. Magoo, you have to know that that's Luke Cage.
I know.
Under that costume. Like it's not a very good costume.
Put something on.
Oh my god, the guy's bald. Could it be the mayor? No.
I got the cover that was drawn by Sergio Davila, who did the Daredevil. That's his cover.
Much better, but still, that costume is...
Yeah, the costume is not... The costume...
horrible.
Yes, but story-wise, I think it's interesting that they brought Smythe back. That's his name, right?
Yeah. I was like, what?
And the whole thing with Danny not having his powers, I guess I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's been for a while. He lost the dragon a while ago.
Oh, well, now he's just punches things and gets taken out, I guess.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger, good to see them again, since they were both phalanxed over in Uncanny Spider-Man.
Which
They're
is
better now.
as you do.
I'm reading it for the story, basically, because I
Oh,
am
yeah.
very interested in what he's doing as mayor and how he is. He actually gets. Yep, they're in it. They were in the first issue too when he recruits them.
Yeah, and they're really good. They actually do stuff, which is like amazing.
I know. But I like the fact that even the cop was like, "Mister, we're gonna have to arrest you," and they're like, "He literally just saved our lives. What?"
Yeah. What are we doing?
So some of the cops even realized that this law that Fisk put into place, outlawing any kind of vigilante, isn't right. And I do think by the end of Gang War, the city will come to realize, hey, we do need the heroes. The heroes saved us, and I'm looking forward to that. Thunderbolts was a book that was it Thunderbolts? Luke Cage. Was that the one that was supposed to be the sanctioned heroes for New York? There was a book that came out, and I think it got canceled because I don't remember what happened to it. But it would be interesting if out of this comes some kind of. We already have Thunderbolts, so they can't use that name. But what name could a team run by the mayor or led by the mayor? Because he's led teams. He led the New Avengers.
Heroes for Hire.
No, because they're not being hired by the public.
Yeah, they're being hired by the city.
I don't know. I think it would be fun if out of Gang War came a New York City-based heroes team.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be.
It only lasts 7 issues because Marvel will cancel it.
Yeah,
but I would like that.
But Alias, I mean, she's starting Alias to Detective Agency again. You know, there's just a lot of really cool stuff for the street level heroes that are coming out of this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like, okay, this is some good momentum for what's going on. And I think this really works. I don't know, some of the other events that have been happening for a while have been sort of aimless and not really kind of meandering, but this is really the one in a long time that I felt is really worked together.
Yeah, I have to agree. I wouldn't mind this being the team either. I would not mind if Cloak and Dagger, his wife, they all were just part of the team.
Oh yeah, I think if this is the impetus for a new Heroes for Hire, I would buy that. I would buy that. And just like knowing what's coming up and knowing that Shang-Chi is a member of a gangland organization, it's like I want to see what his reaction to all this is. Like
that comes out next week.
I know. So like that for me is exciting, and I haven't been excited for an event in a while. Like really, like wow. Like,
well, the last event I can remember you being excited for was House and Powers.
Yeah, and then like it all came out and it's set up and it was beautiful, and I was just like, okay, like we're this new era, it's fantastic. And then it just kind of and then it's like, and then you have like Fall of X, and Fall of X is just kind of like just really been, like you said earlier, it's been falling, it's been meandering. It's like I don't know what's going on. We're gonna touch on that a little bit later. After the commercial, we're gonna touch on that a little bit, but this one I'm here for it. So the next one we're gonna talk about is Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Oh my god, this book confused me so much.
Yeah, this was the one out of all of them. This was the weakest one out of all of them.
Big time.
This was the weakest one.
I got, because I love Peach Momoko, I got the Peach Momoko.
They were out of it.
Cover. Look at that.
Yeah,
Miles
beautiful.
Is covered in spiders.
They were out of it. I couldn't. Yeah, it was fantastic. Such a beautiful cover.
So good. But I have to say, going into this.
Oh, we didn't say who the writer was for the Luke Cage.
Oh.
Let's do that real quick.
Okay, so real quick, guys. Rodney Barnes was the writer. Ramon F. Box was the artist. Andrew Dahlhaus did the coloring. VC's Travis Lanham did the lettering. And Kanan White did the main cover, cover.
Okay.
Now, for Miles Morales, we
got Cody
Viglar.
Viglar. The artist was Federico Vicentini. Color artist was Brian Valenza, and the letterer was VC's Corey Pettit, with the main cover artist being Federico Vicente and Alejandro Sanchez.
Yep.
And there was a bunch of other ones, but
yeah.
this one was rough because like Hobgoblin wasn't in it until the end, and I was really expecting to see a showdown between Hobgoblin and Miles Morales, but instead we were treated to other people who were
Tumbler, Vespa,
who were these like B level
Pharaoh.
Yeah, these C-level characters. Well, they're C-level characters who were trying to make a bid for Hobgoblin's territory, and Miles had to stop them. Though it was fun seeing the Daughters of the Dragon show up. I thought that was fun, although that was the one that kind of took me out of it a little bit because she Misty Knight is a little bit different. She seems to be much more business in the last time we see her,
which was Luke Cage #1.
Yeah, she's much more business than she is in this.
Sentry. It was Sentry.
It was Sentry. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of so her voice is a little different, and I'm okay. In this one, she's like, back in her sort of like, I'm a bad, ish, with Colleen Wing running around together. I thought the art was a little all over the place.
A little?
Yeah, it was much better than Kieron Grant's for that one we talked about with Beast War. But yeah, it was a little. Yeah,
How come people now have weird swords that come out of their bodies?
Oh my God! Stop it with the swords.
What is up with that? Why does
swords?
So I haven't read a Miles Morales comic in a long time, and he has a power sword, and I'm Nightcrawler now has one.
It's a manifestation of his Venom Blast, so he can create instead of just like shocking it for one little. He can actually manifest it and hold it as a sword, and that's who he was training with Colleen Wing in order to be better equipped to use it. So. Is it the best thing that he could have been using? No. But I like the training montage. I thought that was pretty cool and showing that he's actually learning to use his powers. I liked that it harkened back to him, putting Peter on notice about how crappy he's been.
Right.
So again, the story beats to keep it connected to the much larger narrative are still there, what I liked. But when it goes into Miles doing his stuff, is where it kind of lost me. It was
very much.
It was a little all over the place, and having Hobgoblin take a back seat just did not sit well for me because I know that this is number 13 of Miles Morales, so this is part of his ongoing series. So that means there's going to be much larger. There's going to be much more repercussions going on in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought this one was the weakest out of the 4 that came out.
Why didn't they credit? I think that the montage of the training was a different artist or inker, or it has a completely different look to it. It took me out. It took me out. The whole story was. I felt like I was reading the writer's interpretation of Miles Morales in Batman 66. With the Frost Pharaoh and the giant mech that he's in.
And what's up with these mechs too?
It's funny. I wasn't planning on reading this book. And after the first couple of issues and crossovers of the Gang War, I told Coog, I'm like, I want all of them. Well, I really don't care to read the rest of these. But we've already ordered.
I want to read them. I want to read them. I think that there's enough story here, connective tissue, that it's going to be a much better story. Given what we see in Amazing Spider-Man number 40. So
which we only got a couple minutes to talk about that.
Which is really just, I mean, this is basically, if you wanted to read one thing, Amazing Spider-Man is the one you got to read, because this is the one that's really pushing the narrative. And it was by Zeb Wells, who, say what you want about Zeb Wells, like, I've liked the last couple of issues that I've read. When he has a direction, and he's going, like, he's on it, when he's on that path, and he's not, derailing from anything, and he's just telling that story, it's not bad.
Right.
Penciler's John Romita Jr., inker was Scott Hanna, a colorist was Marcio Menzies, letter was VC's Joe Caramagna. I love Joe Caramagna. And then the cover artist was John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, and Marco Menzies. Funny thing, while I was at, real quick, I know we have not a lot of time for it to go to commercial, but when I was at New York City Comic Con, I got to see them all these VCs, all these letterers. I got to see them all there, and I was like, oh my God, a face to a name. So, but anyway,
I picked up the Saturday morning cartoon by Sean Galloway, because I would love to get him on the show and interview him.
Yep.
Love his artwork.
Sean, if you're listening, come and be on the show.
Yeah. So real quick, my take on this was, again, we get a little bit more of Tombstone and him working together. She-Hulk finds out about this, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
Again. I like that She-Hulk is involved. I think that she, for the too long of a time, has been separated from the Marvel Universe. Yep. I think she is one of the most premier heroes that Marvel should be using. She needs to be in the Avengers. Like, her own book has been fun. She's trying to find her voice with Jack of Hearts.
Yep.
But I feel like she just needs to be in more Marvel books. So I loved seeing her in this.
Yep. I loved Beetle's new costume
oh my God, that weird
the message
death thing.
Yeah, the weird dominatrix weird thing that she had with the teeth. That was so scary.
Madam Mask makes her move. Like, a lot of stuff happens
the Rose,
in this book.
The best thing was that ending spread.
Yes.
That ending spread. Oh my God. That was beautiful. Seeing Wilson Fisk with
Typhoid Mary and the Hellfire goons.
Hellfire. I was like, see, he's part of the Hellfire Club, and the fact that they're bringing that into this to show how powerful Kingpin is, I was sold after that. And like the Rose finally coming up and coming back to prominence. Like, this gang war stuff is fun because, and you know why it's fun? It's because it's all of these, smaller villains that are getting the limelight. Even in Daredevil, they had the owl. The owl. Who people don't know was a gang leader for a long time until he was ousted. So, like, it's great. If you were a classic Spider-Man and reader and you liked all of the street level stuff that Spider-Man did in the past, this is a homage to that. Definitely check it out if you haven't. So check it out.
This spread here, I have actually the issues back from the, oh my God, was it 80s or 90s when John Romita Jr. was drawing Daredevil and Typhoid Mary was in it. I fell in love with Typhoid Mary because of the way he drew her, and she was such a badass. I love her.
And the her severe cheekbones.
Yes.
The way he draws her is just fantastic.
So seeing her in this costume with the hair and next to Fisk, and I think Romita Jr. has been putting his all into this book because a lot of it, he is older now and his art isn't the same. It's been 30 years, but he is still knocking out pages. He's a workhorse, and I love his She-Hulk in this. That's all. I gotta say, the gang war stuff and Amazing Spider-Man has been a lot of fun, and I think everyone should pick it up. But Be sure to stay tuned. We got one more segment. We've got some X books and some X shenanigans to talk about. Stay tuned.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. I'm Rich.
I'm Desmond.
Well, I'm Beardy Rich, but you can tell.
I'm Black Beardy.
Oh,
Little
baby Beardy. So you're watching us on The Experience. Be sure to head to comicshoppingexperience.com, join the mailing list, find out when all the greatest shows are on, which is every day. And before us is What's in the Box with Miss Jen. Today she was having a 25% off cover sale. There was some really good stuff in there too. And before that is the Dan Wickline Show. And then after us, stay tuned because Sketch Up with Mog and Mel, and they're going to have a bunch of special guests and some good stuff going on. So, you can find us on all the socials: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Be sure to like and follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff so you know when we're all on.
Yes, please tell a friend as well.
Yes.
Bring them all in.
And we will be on next Thursday with our Aquaman review, as well as the last issue of Immortal X-Men, which was a big wah. Like, I can't wait for you to read it.
Remember, it all starts the actual fall of X-Men. They've just been stumbling until they get to the actual fall.
And then they got to fall. But yeah, so we'll have some good books for next week as well. Hopefully they're all good and not stinkers, like the next book we're going to review.
What? You didn't like it? You didn't like it?
I have not enjoyed any of these issues. In fact, I really didn't read it. I kind of just looked at the pictures because I don't give a bleep. So we're going to be reviewing Gods, which
I got this cover.
Oh, you got a cool cover.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, this is a much better cover than the other one.
It is. So Jonathan Hickman, this is Marvel's, here you go, do whatever you want. It makes no sense. go ahead. You're writing something and we're making money off you, book. The Waste of an Amazing Artist, Valerio Shitty, amazing artist. Marte Gracia is the color artist. VC's Travis Lanham was the letterer. And Mattias Manhanini was the cover artist of the main book. You picked up, what is that, Russell Dodderman?
I think it is.
Or is it Phil Noto?
Is it the Phil Noto one? Actually, it doesn't say, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then, so this is number 3 of the Wankfest. That is Gods.
We meet the villain, though.
Oh, yay.
The villain is Oblivion. So, because it's all about worship, and you have to have a certain amount of worship to get powerful. And it looks like, because I guess nihilism is a thing, Oblivion is becoming a lot stronger, and there is, I guess he's going to destroy all of the celestial gods or something. And it's a lot of what will you call it?
I can't say.
Pontificating about, greater than thy type of situations.
Yeah. The only reason we're getting it is because Coog wants to sit down and read all of them when the first 6 are out.
The weird thing about it is they're all disjointed. So you don't really need to read them all in any kind of order, because they're all introducing, I guess, people who are going to be the main people in this new thing that's going to be happening, whatever that thing is.
Okay.
Because this is supposed to rewrite Marvel's cosmology, but I don't know how, because we've only really ever heard of 2 people, first being the In-Betweener, and this now being Oblivion. So, and Oblivion, is sort of, the antithesis of eternity. So I don't know. So at this point, it's kind of a big, I don't want to say nothing burger, because things are happening, but they don't make any lick of sense until you get to the end of what's happening. So we're all kind of held hostage until Hickman decides to make his grand master stroke. And while I am pseudo enjoying what's happening, you kind of got to start to get to the point, And I think they kind of did that in this one, by introducing the main villain. I did not know what the crystal was that the Hydra agent, the AIM agent. I thought it could have been a cosmic cube, a type of cosmic cube. But I'm not really sure. And then the thing that was hilarious is if you read the next thing, it's basically cryptic until you read the book, and even when you read the book, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I think what's happening is he has a story.
I thought you froze.
No. He has a story. Hickman has a story of what he's doing, but he's purposely obscuring certain things to make it seem a lot more of a sort of pseudo mystery, and waiting until the big thing happens and you get to see the big reveal. Because right now, it just seems like there should be more from the other abstract deities, or the abstractions, like Lord Chaos and Master Order, and all of them should be more, unless they're coming in the next series, and that's kind of weird to me,
Yeah,
it's all set up.
I don't care.
But why don't you care? It's just because it's just a lot of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. The characters, I really have no connection to even the new person they brought in, another new person this issue. I don't.
Well,
It's boring.
that's why Doctor Strange is there. Doctor
Yeah.
Strange is there to give people the idea that it is a Marvel book, because
Yeah.
without Doctor Strange, you wouldn't even know that this was a Marvel book at all.
I'm wondering if this was
even
one of Hickman's ideas that he had for his creator-owned, and
probably.
then somehow spun it, like you said, Doctor Strange could be the connecting point.
Well, because even the main guy from the opposing camp that we just heard about, like he literally created them for this miniseries. We've never heard of them before.
Right.
Shows up, and even the guy's like, "Why is he here?" And it's like, and he's like, "Yes, we need an objective and an observer, for what's going on." And it's like there are these powers that be, there's these powers that be that are there that I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just he's building all this grandiose stuff, but there hasn't been a payoff since the first issue, and after this, it's just been, filler. It seems like, because there's not enough movement. So, but we'll see.
Well, let's go on. Let's go on. Sorry, I don't want to talk about the book anymore.
Okay, no problem.
I would like to talk about.
Wow, you did not like
Spider-Man.
it. You did not like it.
No.
That's fine.
You spent way too much time on it.
Okay,
Way too much time.
okay.
I want to talk about something I liked. I loved this book. 5 issues.
I got it.
Fun. Oh, you got the Peach Momoko.
The scary Peach Momoko one. I almost didn't buy it because it's scary.
I got the one with mom and son.
I saw that one too.
I love this one. So, Uncanny Spider-Man is the wrap-up to Cy Spurrier's run of all
I had no idea he was 5 issues.
That's
when
it.
I got to the end, I was like,
It's done.
I guess this is it.
Yep. So Cy Spurrier was the writer. Lee Garbett and Simone Bufantino were the artists. Matt Mila was the color artist, and VC's Joe Caramagna was the letterer.
Oh my god. Wraith 1701 just basically said it. Sometimes it seems like Jonathan Hickman is the J.J. Abrams of Chris Claremont. Wow, just makes so much sense. It's like it's literally just like lens flare everywhere. And like this much story. Fantastic comment, my friend.
Yes.
Fantastic comment. Yeah, welcome.
So I really liked this. I felt like it could have went. I feel like he got the shaft on issues. I think this one felt a little rushed.
This last issue? Oh yeah.
This last issue felt really rushed.
You can tell by the artwork.
There
was
was
2
so
artists.
Much. Yeah. So Nightcrawler was caught last issue, taken to Orcus, and then you learn that, oh, guess what? That wasn't him. And Mystique is there. Sable is there.
His girlfriend is there.
So spoilers. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. The little blue Bamf was Legion.
Yes.
And I really like that Cy Spurrier, who wrote the Legion books with Nightcrawler, I really, really hope he gets one more book before July. I want to know about Legion. You have to give us that. They have to.
They're not going to give it to us.
They got
unfortunately. Well, the reason why they're not going to give it to us is because everyone is given the opportunity to wrap up their stories, and whatever happens, certain things are going to be left, like this whole thing about the mothers and the retcon of the retcon about Kurt. That's all going to stay, and everything else. But everything else is probably going to be either changed with the new continuity, or you might get a little bit depending on where the ashes fall with the Fall of X.
I hope. And we also find out where Warlock has been.
Yeah, which I thought was great. I was not expecting that at all. Although he was hinting with the weird Vulture collar that Vulture usually has is the white collar, and how it was the black coming out.
Well, yeah, no, we knew that the slaved mutants were techno-organic, was being used.
But I didn't know that it was. I thought it was Phalanx stuff.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was Warlock, and they had enslaved Warlock. So when that came out, and he says "Self is free at last," I was like, "What?" Yeah, that was great. Like, and the funny thing about it is it didn't feel like it came out of nowhere. It actually felt like it was a part of the story, And I don't know. I thought this book for what we got. And the revelation and the retconning and all this other stuff for this book, this was fantastic. And we got to see the Soul Sword, one of your favorites. We got to see another sword.
I love how they referenced the fact that Mystique holds weapons in her body. Loved that.
Yeah, because she does, and that's already been established.
I know by was it Sean McKeever? No, he's the artist.
It was McKeever.
Who did? He was the writer.
Yeah.
Oh,
if I remember correctly, yeah, he did the Mystique series.
That was where they showed a lot of how she did things. I don't know. I just think this whole miniseries was one of the bright spots in all of the Fall of X intro stuff.
Yeah.
Realm of X was a mess of a book. All that really did was gave Magic her powers back, which her and Kitty are going to be kicking Orcus butt in the next couple issues.
Dark X-Men was kind of like whatever.
I liked Dark X-Men, but it went nowhere.
Yeah.
Because we don't know anything about Havoc. Like he's something had happened to him, and I don't think Steve Fox got the opportunity to. I think they all just were like, "Hey, 5 issues, write what you can."
And they didn't tell anybody it was 5 issues, so nope. I was totally expecting more of like this uncanny Spider-Man with Nightcrawler. Yeah. I totally like.
This could have went on another year, and I would have.
I would have read it.
I would have read it.
Yeah, as long as he was writing it. And it was like, that's what I want. You know what I want? Instead of giving us a damn Gambit and Rogue miniseries, can we please have a road trip with Destiny and Mystique and Kirk and Rogue and Gambit? Fine, he can come along. Can't we just have like a family book and explore that dynamic now? Can we please? Because
not yet.
But we need to have that. We need to have it. I'll tell you why. We need to have it because with everything that they showed, and they confirmed the fact that they are adopted siblings now, how does Rogue deal with that? Like, I want to know that story. And I really hope that we get to see that in the upcoming X-Men universe.
That would be nice. So that will lead us right into where Rogue has been, which is Uncanny Avengers
another
5.
Another 5-issue mini that ended. I did not expect that to happen. Again, when it happened, I was like, well, damn, I guess we're done with this.
This book felt even more rushed than Nightcrawler's book.
I actually thought that this one, to tell you the God's honest truth, I thought this one felt a lot more like a full-on resolution. Like, I felt this book, like, I actually, when I finished this book at the end, I thought, this has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I felt it had a very good payoff about who it was, though
we found out last issue
the evil Captain, Stevel, which is weird, becoming the new Flag Smasher. I felt like this actually had some really good writing. For it to be a 5-issue miniseries, which is going to be rushed to trades.
Yeah.
I thought this was
out of the way.
Pretty good.
Jerry Duggan did the writing. Javier Garon was the artist.
Fantastic artist.
Yes, he is. Maury Hallowell was the color artist, and I think the colors were, VC's Travis Lanham did the lettering, and Tom Muller and Jay Bowen were the designers. Yeah, so we find out Stevel takes out M, which a lot of people, gay Twitter, X Twitter, were pissed that
I don't understand
Mighty
how
M got taken down.
I was kind of like, that's okay.
The nuclear blast with Daredevil with Deadpool and Rogue.
That was great.
People are on Duggan's case a lot, but I really enjoyed this.
I like that. I like that.
And his ideas, and
I mean, Deadpool cut in half, still contributing to the team. Like, it's fun. It's stupid fun. Stupid fun. And I was like, okay, Rogue is literally dead. And then he grasps her hand and she starts to regenerate. And they're in the blast zone, just sitting there chilling, talking about stuff. I was like,
I do like that the Daily Bugle, he got his story. Because if you remember, it was Cyclops that went to him. And by him, I'm blanking on his name.
Ben Urich.
Yes. All the way back then, Ben was writing the stories on the X-Men, the resurrections, and now he has the story of the one human that was left alive in the Orcus tragedy. So the tides are changing. Next up, we're going to have the trial of Cyclops, so we'll see what happens there. Did you notice Rogue in one of my favorite costumes?
Her classic outfit. Thank you for bringing that back. And her short hair.
Well, and the stripe. Because I'll be real honest. I know X-Men 97 is coming to Disney Plus next year. And everyone loves Storm's or Rogue's,
that classic
green and yellow. I'm sick of it. It's been 3 decades. I'm sick of it.
I mean, weren't you in the room when they created it? Did you help them create it?
I wouldn't have. I like this costume. I love this costume. Yeah. Flag Smasher, where is that going to go? Like there's a lot of good ideas, again, just like in the Nightcrawler book, in this book, that I don't know if we're ever going to see, and that's kind of sad.
I have no idea.
And is Steve going to keep Bucky's arm? Like, is he just going to wear it all the time?
Again, I see, that's the thing. That's why in the long run and the sad run, that's why a lot of this stuff really doesn't matter at some point, because Fall of X is going to change all this crap around anyway. Yeah. So,
one real quick thing. Did you notice M smacking Quicksilver's butt on the very last page?
I did not notice that until you pointed it out.
So, do you feel a Pietro M romance is a good thing?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're both insufferable. Seriously, they are both insufferable people, and the fact that they can deal with each other, let them go. Let them go.
That is too funny.
And I really hope that they're allowed to continue to be together in the new regime that they're doing.
Well,
I really hope so.
I do too. So Marvel released an image for what's coming, and it just says X-Men Fall of the Ashes, July.
Duh.
So
we have to wait until July?
There it is. Thank you so much. What do we think about this? Is one of the most classic fonts the X-Men have used. Well, even before that, it was there. And then From the Ashes, Marvel's been reusing a ton of old phrases. I mean, we have a Trial of Magneto. So From the Ashes, from what has been going on with the Karoka era, whatever you say.
Krakoan
era.
Three syllables.
Oh my God.
Krakoan.
The end of X-Men Red, when they built the two giant things and then they named the other one again, some kind of letter swaps of that. I'm just like, I'm kind of going to be happy this is over. But yeah, we're getting July. We have to wait. July.
You know it's coming from the ashes, right?
What?
That damn school. That damn school.
I really don't
Westchester for life, buddy. Westchester for life.
I don't want to go back. I feel like it's just a regression. I do.
No, it'll be Westchester, but on Mars. A Rocco Chester.
Oh, I just can't.
Can you imagine mailing stuff to Mars to get to your kid? No, they're not going back to that. You know, I really don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to cloak as their mailman. I mean, yeah, I can see it, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think from the ashes just means that there's going to be a fill-in gap, and we're going to get a lot of fill-in stories, because people forget that the X-Men was actually canceled for a while there before
97.
Yeah, before the big
96.
Yeah, no, it was canceled before the big, you know, X-Men All-Star Annual, Giant Size Annual came in, and they reworked it all. You never know, we might get something like that, and they call it From the Ashes, in which we're just going to get a bunch of, like, you know, little ancillary one-shot stories that's going to happen. But I'm eager to see what happens with Fall of X, only because I want to see how it's going to fall. Like, is it going to be a treaty? Are they going to get, like, because you can't just have them set up shop on the moon and then just not have that. It's not like Genosha, where they can just blow up the moon, you know, start blow up Mars. It's like they can't do that. Like, it's bigger than a plant. It's bigger than than Genosha was. So like, are the X-Men just gonna be on Mars now, and that's where they're gonna be forever? I mean, that seems like kind of cool if they give Mars to the mutants, and there's this kind of age where all the mutants are on Mars, all of the regular people are on Earth, and they just kind of work together that way. Maybe I don't know, but just no timey-wimey, you know, time travel stuff, please.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't need any of that. You know, unless you're gonna come back and it's gonna be Nate Gray, and Nate Gray comes back and does some crazy shaman stuff, maybe that'll be kind of cool. But I mean, I really don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
And then seeing like Rasputin 7 or whatever her name is as a part of it, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Something about her character always rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, she's going to factor heavily into the Fall of the House and whatever the other book is called right now. I can't remember.
The Fall of X and
something. House and Powers. You know, they like those.
Fall of the Powers of X and Fall of the House of X.
Hey, everyone. I just want to say thank you for spending time with us. We love talking about comic books.
We really appreciate it. In the future, if you have anything that you would like to say, please, you know, we do a lot of, you know, call and response. So if you have something you want to say in the chat in the future, let us know. You know, we definitely respond to people. We want it to be as interactive as possible, because we value your opinions about these comics that we all take our time to read, you know?
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
So be sure to join us next Thursday for our Aquaman review that I'm going to be tortured to watch.
It's shorter than the last one, so you'll be better off than that, okay?
All right, everyone. I am Beardy Rich.
I am Black Beardy Desmond. Baby Beardy.
Have a great night. Have a very wonderful Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Is Hanukkah over? I don't know.
I think it's over now. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. And we will see everyone next Thursday.
Bye.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.